Nice big rock up here.
Displaying the glory of God's creation by visiting every state park, national park, and national forest in the contiguous 48 states. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave the Parker.
Welcome back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the Parks Professor. And we are at Fort Dummer State Park. And no, the name of this park doesn't have anything to do with the comparative of the adjective dumb. I'll explain a little bit about the name of this park once we get a little further into this hike here. Today is Friday, September the 15th. And the temperature right now is a glorious 65 degrees. We've had some really nasty weather here earlier this week, but things have turned around, and it is beautiful out here today. This park has two short loop trails. There's the Sunrise Loop and the Sunset Loop. We're going to hike both of them. This here is the start of the Sunrise Trails loop. And so we're going to go around the Sunrise Trail, so we're going to turn left here. And we are going to hike clockwise around the Sunrise Trail. This trail does lead to an east-facing overlook that overlooks a very interesting point. And so let's get headed towards the overlook. We're about 15 to 20 minutes in now, and we've made it around to the vista known as Sunrise Overlook. As the name implies, this is a southeast-facing overlook. Faces towards the sunrise. I'm actually zoomed in right now. Let me zoom back out so you can see the overlook as I see it, which is that. Now, I mentioned about the name of this park, Fort Dummer State Park. Fort Dummer was actually the name of the first European settlement in Vermont. And that's what this park is named after. It's named after the first European settlement in Vermont. That settlement dates to the early 1700s, if I remember correctly. Now, that settlement is actually underneath the Connecticut River, and that's the body of water you saw in the distance there. The Connecticut River was dammed, and when they dammed it, that put the site of the original Fort Dummer underwater. And so this park here, even though it's called Fort Dummer State Park, it's actually not the site of the original Fort Dummer, and that's why. I'll pan around here. There's a nice bench directly beside me. There's also a nice picnic table here. So this is a nice spot to come. Maybe watch a sunrise. Or at least take in a little bit of the history of this park in this area. So we will continue around the Sunrise Trail. We have a little bit downhill to do here. And then we will head over to the other trail, the Sunset Trail. We finished the Sunrise Trail, and now we're walking through the state park campground to get to the Sunset Trail, which, as its name implies, is over on the west side of this ridge. This is a very nice campground. It's a very primitive campground. A lot of the Vermont State Park campgrounds are. They're not very expensive, but they're really nice. They're nice and wooded. And they don't have a lot of amenities. For example, I don't think any of the sites here have any kind of hookups, like for an RV and that sort of thing. But if you want kind of a semi-primitive camping experience, then these campsites are really nice. Vermont State Park campgrounds. I like them. We started going clockwise around the Sunset Trail, and very quickly we came to this very nice overlook. This is a west-facing overlook, as the name implies. Nice big rock up here. I'm not sure if you can hear the noise on the microphone, the traffic noise, but that's actually from Interstate 91. That's located right at the bottom of the hill that we're standing atop right now. This is the main vista on the Sunset Trail. So I'm going to admire this for a few minutes, and then we'll keep going clockwise around the Sunset Trail. We've almost made it around the Sunset Trail, and therefore we're almost back to the campground and almost to the end of this hike. There used to be an old barn that dated to the 1800s on this trail. The park ranger told me they tore it down a few years ago. But if you want to see a picture of that barn, look up the blog entry in my trail journal for this hike. I put a link to it in the comments down below this video. And you can see a picture of that old barn there. It's a very interesting old barn. Kind of sad they tore it down. I do want to thank you for watching. Parking full-time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day. And I thank you every day. This is the play field for the campground. So you have some picnic tables, a volleyball net, and some other things. And there is the end of the Sunset Trail. And so we have a walk back through the campground to finish this hike. Also, as a reminder, I do not make any monetary compensation for anything I do for parking full-time. I took a vow to do that several years ago, and I have kept that vow. And so the only thing I get are your likes, your subscribes, your views, and your comments, and I do appreciate all of those things. So we have a short walk through the campground to finish this hike. I'm going to close this video. Until next time, I am Big Dave, the Parks Professor, for Parking Full Time. Have a great afternoon. Take care, and Lord bless.